Hey, CelebReel fam. Welcome back, because this one is heavy, and it's the kind of story that never really ends. It just goes quiet. And that's the dangerous part, because silence doesn't mean it cooled off. It means people are waiting. And now the whispers are getting loud again.
An enemy that has a position of influence in your child's life, and knowing that that person sends you notes and messages every now and then. If you don't do this, if you don't do that, that boy is dead.
Here's what's going around. There's talk that Quincy Brown might be working on a doc-style project revisiting Kim Porter's timeline, and 50 Cent's name keeps coming up around it. If that's true, then this isn't just internet discussion anymore. This would be a full reset, a new rollout. And it's hitting different because so many people feel like the questions about Kim Porter never got real answers. For a lot of viewers, the 50 Cent linked Diddy documentary wave barely touched what they still want explained.
We know that Kim, and it's in the this is in the documentation, shout out to paperwork. He looked in the paperwork and it said Kim received a massage for about an hour when she's supposed to have full-blown pneumonia. Who gives somebody a massage when they got pneumonia? And do we know whether she used that baby oil or not for that massage? It makes you say,
And that quiet gap didn't calm anything down. It did the opposite. It kept everything alive in the background, but in whispers. Until now. Because the rumor isn't small. The word online is that Kim's oldest son, Quincy, could be linking with 50 Cent on a series-style project that puts Kim front and center, not as a footnote, not as a side mention, but as the main timeline. And the second people heard that, the timeline caught fire.
I don't mean to be the super big brother dad, but this is nuts. I might record the whole ride. Might run out of storage.
I forgot my license is in my name.
Oh, you need that. What'd you forget?
My license.
And what do you need to drive?
Especially since people still remember how Quincy moved during the loudest moments. He showed up at Diddy's trial for one day, one appearance, then disappeared. And to some people, that looked like silent loyalty. To others, it looked calculated, like a boundary.
And Quincy's missing.
Quincy's missing. And lastly,
After he was questioned by the feds.
after.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was in witness protection.
What really stands out is Quincy never went online playing defense. No speeches, no emotional posts, no messy back and forth. He didn't move loud, he didn't move sloppy, he stayed calm, stayed controlled, and kept his distance. And that already separates him from the chaos around this whole situation. And people keep pointing out another detail too. Unlike other names pulled into public accusations and lawsuit chatter tied to Diddy's headlines, Quincy hasn't been personally accused of wrongdoing in the public record.
Basically.
Do you believe that she died of pneumonia?
Absolutely not.
Why? What evidence do you have?
She was in the best of health. We just saw each other prior to her passing. We were actually celebrating our son's new Netflix Christmas special, and she was doing just fine. In fact, we were all at the event together at Netflix in the lobby. Sean, myself, the children, all having a great time. And I'm, grabbing Sean like, what? And she's in the back going, stop. There's no, like I said, this is not marketing for me. I'm living this life. And
So
the only
yes.
reason I wanted to tell the story, Kurt, was very specifically because I was ignored. There was the most expensive PR campaign against me to shut me down.
Are you concerned that he still has power outside of incarceration?
Remember, I'm the only one who spoke up, and I'm the only one left alive. So this is not about a scared thing, It's just time to reveal the truth. I mean, it is what it is. I went through many, many years of scrutiny and being dragged face first on the concrete, being called.
That clean image is exactly why some people see him as the different one, even though Diddy helped raise him. Now the conversation is shifting into strategy talk. Because some reports and online theories are framing Quincy's silence like a move, not weakness, Like he stayed close just long enough to keep an eye on his sisters, avoid the splash zone, and protect the family while everything was unstable. But the real question is, if he's been quiet this whole time, why would he speak now?
When it all happened, I was filming away. So, there was, I'm like the rock of the family, especially when it comes to, times where it's like family is really needed, and now I think
Then everything shifts. Because once Diddy's legal situation escalates and he's no longer moving freely the way he used to, the entire energy around this story changes. People start saying Quincy might finally be in a position to tell the story the way he wants to tell it. Not as a public accusation, but as a real deep dive. Kim's life, the official timeline, and the questions that never stop trailing her name.
A shocked and devastated Diddy spotted at the home where his ex suddenly and mysteriously died. Her good friend Kimora Lee Simmons appearing inconsolable at the house, 47-year-old Porter's body found after a desperate call to 911.
EMS 14, respond with engine 76 on scene of the car.
And if 50 Cent is truly involved in any way, that's gasoline. Because 50 doesn't step into stories quietly. He steps in to shake the room, force people to pick a side, and make sure nobody can pretend they didn't hear it. And that's why this rumor is hitting so hard. Quincy has always moved differently from Diddy's other sons, and people have been clocking it for years. Even when the spotlight was burning the family alive, Quincy wasn't the one out front feeding the noise. That's also why some of the wilder internet theories took off. People started claiming he was protected or playing some kind of double game. But the visible facts don't really support the extreme versions, especially because he has been seen showing up with the family when it mattered. So most people treat the most dramatic theories as a reach, even if they admit the silence still feels intentional.
In that coma in 2022, you had the liver transplant, you had the tracheotomy, all that stuff that went on.
Multi-system organ failure.
Yeah,
Wow. 60.
Right. Have they figured out what happened yet?
We will.
No, I mean, have the doctors medically, what happened to you?
Yeah,
because you just collapsed, right?
Yeah, so, just mysteriously out of the blue, which we do talk about in the book.
Yeah.
If you actually knew what they did to me, there was a bounty on my head. There was a bunch of stuff.
So do you think specifically then that Sean Diddy Combs or people affiliated with him did something to you that caused you to have multi-organ failure?
I believe this to be the case, yes. Absolutely.
Wow.
My first.
And the point the timeline keeps circling back to is simple. Quincy has stayed mostly silent about his mom. No sit-down interviews, no public blaming, no viral speeches, just quiet. And now the timing is what has everybody leaning in, because if a full doc-style project is actually being built, focused on Kim, the tension behind the scenes, and the unanswered questions around what happened, then this isn't just gossip anymore. It becomes a rollout, a narrative, a spotlight. And once a spotlight hits a story like this, the internet doesn't let go. On November 15th, 2018, Kim Porter was found unresponsive at her Los Angeles home. A family member reportedly found her in bed, and by the time help arrived, it was too late. She was 47, and the shock hit instantly. The official record later listed lobar pneumonia as the cause, and the medical examiner ruled it a natural death. On paper, that's a clean conclusion. But in public discussion, it's the timeline that keeps people stuck. Because the reports people keep passing around lay it out like this. Around November 7th, Kim reportedly complained about a sore throat. By November 12th, it allegedly escalated into a fever and a fast progression. And it's that speed that still has people asking, was every detail fully explained? According to multiple reports, she tested negative for flu and strep, and she was treated with antibiotics and other medication. Then comes the detail the internet can't let go of. Her family later said that by November 14th, she seemed to be improving. Her temperature reportedly came down, and she was even well enough to get a massage that night. And for a lot of people, that's the moment where the story starts to feel confusing. Because it makes you pause and think, if she was really battling a serious respiratory issue, why bring someone into the home that late in the week? And another thing people point out is that the identity of the massage provider was never widely clarified publicly, which left space for speculation. Fair or not. The coroner's report also noted no history of substance or alcohol abuse and no known underlying health issues. And by most public accounts, she was considered generally healthy, which, to a lot of people online, only kept the questions alive. And not long after, one of the first people to publicly push back on the official explanation was Kim's ex and Quincy's biological father, Al B. Sure, he has said more than once that he saw Kim not long before she passed, and that she didn't appear seriously ill to him. Over time, he became more vocal, basically saying he didn't believe the official explanation matched what he thought he knew. Then Al B sure took it a step further. And that's where this story really started to split the internet. In July 2020, he posted an older video of himself crying, with a caption describing how hearing the news hit him. But it wasn't just grief. In that same post, he strongly suggested he didn't believe things happened the way they were summarized publicly. He tied that feeling to how strong and healthy he said Kim looked around that time, even pointing to family moments and milestones, including celebrations for Quincy. And the way he ended it, that's what people locked onto. He added a hashtag that a lot of viewers read as a shot at the polished public tributes that came after Kim passed. But the post didn't stay up long. Al later deleted it and explained that Quincy reached out because the post was triggering. And that part alone made the timeline go into detective mode, because even after deleting it, Al didn't really walk it back. His stance stayed the same. He kept implying the official story still didn't add up to him. And once that delete happened, the internet did what it always does. It wrote its own version. Some commenters speculated Quincy was pressured to step in. Others claimed somebody wanted the situation controlled. Some even pushed the idea that someone wanted distance between Quincy and his biological father. None of that is confirmed, but it shows how fast the narrative shifts the moment people sense behind-the-scenes influence. Through all of it, Al stayed planted. He kept signaling he wasn't going to soften his stance just because it made people uncomfortable. And then in November 2021, he posted a throwback photo with Kim and Quincy and added a caption that reignited the entire debate all over again. He referenced a message he said Kim once sent him: life imitating art, art imitating life. And then he layered it with more hints. He suggested there was more she told him privately than the public ever heard. He framed it like she was dealing with something serious behind the scenes. And according to him, he urged her to contact authorities. He started telling people, in so many words, you wouldn't believe what she went through, without ever spelling it all the way out. And that's why the post landed the way it did. Not because it was specific, but because it sounded like he was pointing at a bigger story he wasn't saying out loud. And then the situation took another turn. Not long after that period, Al ended up hospitalized for a medical emergency that, in public discussion, never got a simple, clean explanation. Later, he said he collapsed unexpectedly while working in the studio. He described doctors being shocked by how many serious issues showed up at once. What followed was extreme. Al has said he spent close to 2 months in a coma, and when he woke up, he shared that he went through major procedures, including an organ transplant, blood transfusions, being intubated, time on a ventilator. The kind of list that makes people's stomach drop. It was life-threatening, and fans were genuinely shaken. And once that happened, social media did what it always does. People started comparing timelines, connecting dots, building theories. Those comparisons aren't proof of anything, but they show how fast suspicion spreads when the public already feels like a story has missing pages. But here's the key point. Even after everything he went through, Al didn't go quiet. He kept posting. He kept hinting. He kept speaking like he truly believes there's more to Kim's story than what the official record says. And over time, the pressure around his claims kept building until mainstream media gave him a bigger stage. Earlier this year, Al sat down for an interview connected to his memoir, and the clips traveled fast. At one point, he looked straight at the camera and hit people with, "Do you believe me now?" And that's when the conversation escalated again. Because in that interview, he repeated that he never accepted the natural, framing the way it was presented publicly. And he also suggested, not as proven fact, but as his personal conviction that his own medical emergency happened in the shadow of him speaking out, like he believes there were forces around him that didn't want him talking. He even hinted that something may have shifted in 2022 after he got louder. But that's his belief, and viewers can't verify it from clips alone. Still, once a claim like that is said on camera, it becomes rocket fuel. Because social media doesn't treat it like a passing comment. They clip it, repost it, debate it, and suddenly the entire conversation around Kim's story gets louder. Now, it's not just fans speculating. It's a public figure saying on record that he doesn't buy the official explanation. And that changes the temperature of everything. Right now, it's still unclear where things stand between Al and Quincy. Nobody outside their circle can say if they've fully repaired the relationship, or if Al has any connection at all to the rumored doc. But a lot of people are hoping there's some kind of alignment, because Al has consistently been one of the most visible voices pushing for deeper answers. And that matters, especially if a doc really is in motion, because a project like this doesn't even have to accuse anyone to shake the room. All it has to do is lay out the timeline, highlight contradictions, point to missing details, and place the unanswered questions in order. Then step back and let the public react. That's why the 50 Cent angle keeps pulling people in, whether you like him or not. He has a reputation for dragging old industry narratives back into the light, especially when power, image, and silence are part of the story. And that ties into the bigger frame people keep bringing up online: control. There's a growing belief that Diddy's world operated on tight control: who spoke, who stayed quiet, and who stayed close. And some past accounts have portrayed Kim's relationship era as complicated and heavily managed. That portrayal is part of what keeps people questioning how much influence existed behind the scenes long before the more recent headlines. And now, with Quincy's name floating in these rumors and a possible doc-style rollout in the air, people feel like the story could be reframed in a way we haven't seen before. Do you think Kim Porter's story deserves another serious look? And what do you think Quincy's silence really means? Grief, protection, strategy, or something the public hasn't clocked yet? Because that's the part people can't ignore. Silence can be a shield, or it can be a countdown. And if a doc really is being built around Kim's story, it won't matter what anyone believes going in. What will matter is what gets shown, what gets left out, and what questions it forces back onto the table. So drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want updates the second this doc becomes real, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And share this with someone who's been following this story from the start. Keep your eyes on the timeline. I'll catch you in the next one.